Hey everybody, well welcome to Chef Outdoors. Here we are again, breaking my stuff so you don't have to. Well, if you were watching my catch, clean, and cook video the other day, you heard me talking about how I went pompano fishing. And I mentioned when I was cooking that my battery cable went bad on my boat. I'll show you that when I rip it out. Anyway, I got to replace this battery cable, and I ain't got nothing fancy, just my old engine and an old battery cable to replace it with. So anyway, the battery hooks up here, okay, runs through all this tubing, and then into the back of the boat here, which isn't a very far run, so we're pretty lucky. It's not too bad. But we got to disconnect it here, and we got to pull it through and hook up the new cables. All right, so what we're going to need for this is a 9/16 for the batteries to disconnect the batteries. We're going to need a Phillips head to take the battery switch off the wall, and then it's either a 9/16 or a 5/8 or a 15 millimeter on the back of the battery switch to remove the cables. Over here, these are all 10 millimeters. We're going to remove them from here. We're going to pull the battery cable through, and then we're going to run the new cable. All right, let's get to this. So these are 10 millimeter. We removed the battery cables from the battery so we don't have any shocking situations here, because I don't, even though this engine doesn't have a lot of computers on it, it's got enough, and we don't need to shock it. I don't need any help breaking anything. I got plenty of help breaking everything already. So we're going to remove this from the block. Now you don't have to remove this from the block. You could just disconnect the terminals here. Just want to loosen these up. This looks like an 11 or 12 millimeter holding these on. On the negative side. The positive side looks like a 10 millimeter. All right, y'all, this is definitely a 12 millimeter. Just popped it loose right here. That's on the negative side. Okay. And the good thing about turning the battery off now is I don't have to worry about bumping these, see? If I bump them, they're not going to spark because I disconnected power. So you always want to make sure you disconnect power. I always forget to do that. It leads to so much trouble. Always disconnect power. It's like, I ain't got time for that. Well, after all these years of doing it, make time for it. I can tell you, I've had my fair share of problems over the years by rushing and not doing it right. Okay. 10 millimeter already loosened up. Make sure you keep everything close so you don't lose it. All right. Put this all right down here so I don't knock it into the dirt. And then, here we go. I don't need to take that one off. I do need to take this one off though, because I got mine bolted up backwards because it got stripped out. Easy. Can pull down the rubber a little bit to get a little better access. All right. So my battery cable is now free on the engine block side, but we got to get it pulled through this tube right here, so that'll be fun. It's always an adventure. What I've done is I've tie wrapped the new battery cable to the old battery cable so I can pull it through the wiring harness. All right, let's get to this. So now we just want to pull these stinking things through so we can get our new cables in. So here's the new one. Well, new to me, not new. Here's the old one. It's gonna be interesting. There we go. Come on. Pulling it through, y'all. Oh, it's right there. Come on. Oh my goodness, it's right here. I can touch it and I can't get it through. Got an idea. I got my de-hooker. There we go. Come on. Oh yeah. The de-hooker worked. Awesome. All right, so we got the cable through the boat. Okay, we're gonna put it back in. I just hooked up the new power lead on the back side. Remember, this side screwed up on mine. I didn't replace it. I just doubled them up on the back. There's the negative lead. Gonna put the other negative lead from the battery there. I doubled up the battery lead and the block lead right there. So make sure you cover it with the boot so it doesn't hit nothing. Then we're gonna mount that right back on the engine block right there. Yeah, I got the boot on there just to stop it from grounding out on the block. Don't want it to bump anything and cause a problem. All right, we're gonna put this back in. I got the 10mm bolts that go up to mount this to the block. Make sure if you got it, this one has a ground behind it, so make sure if there's any grounds behind it, you got the grounds in there in place. Because you lose a ground and something won't work right and you wonder why, that's why. Always gotta make sure the right things are in the right place. So anyway, let's tighten these up. So my wrist is working a little better. Make sure it's getting tight so the ground's got a good connection. Put this negative lead in there. There's a little tie wrap in here. Everything's tie wrapped together with to hold it in place. So make sure I got everything at the right length so it fits good. Put the ground on here. I'm gonna put the nut. It's got a lock washer and a nut, and it is a 12mm bolt on this engine. Make sure it's good and snug. Do your best, don't strip it out. They're not huge bolts. There we go. Okay, then make sure you tighten everything up down in here. There's some clamps and tie wraps. Kind of hold everything in place. Make sure you secure it all. My engine's a hot, dirty mess anyway. I use it a lot. It gets a lot of beating. Now we got to put it back in the boat. Let's get to this. Let's go inside now. So I want to put all this back inside the boat. Look a little more neat and tidy. Put my cables through the back hole here. I can't see it over my big head, but there is a back hole. So what I was doing was just putting that back together back there. See how it all goes nice and tight and neat in there? And now we got to go in there. Okay, what you got to do in here is we got this battery switch and we got the battery cables. We got to run them to the battery switch and then we got to hook them to the battery. And then we'll be back in action. All right, y'all, so I'm getting in here. Woo, getting down. So we got this battery switch here and it's got Phillips head screws holding it in. And we got our new cables right here, okay? So we just got to hook everything up, take this battery switch out. So what I'm doing is I just got my Phillips head here, and I'm just taking out these screws, okay? There you go, we got the old one off. Bringing the new one in. All right. Then we got the two power leads in the boat here for stuff. Yes, my electrical could be a little better. No doubt about that. Alright, get that good and tightened down, and then we're going to reinstall this. Alright, y'all. It's all back in there. We just got to put it back up here on the wall and hook it up to the battery, and we'll be good to go. So here we go. I'm just going to line it up and put the screws back in. Here's our new negative lead. Here's our positive lead. Alright, so now we just got to hook our wires all up here. Get the switch back in. So our negative wires, there's quite a few of right here. And that's it. Let's tighten this down and we will be back in action. Alright, y'all, these are all pretty good and tight now. Got all my grounds and my positives on. Got my battery switch. Good to go up here. Let's go try this out. Alright, y'all, let's give this thing a shot. Hear the choke working, sounds like good voltage. Woo! There you go. go. We're back in action. Let's go fishing. So y'all, I wanted to show you the corrosion this had. Look at that. Look at it inside the wire there. And you got water all inside of it. Puts resistance in the system and wouldn't work. Anyway, it's even worse up here, look. See where it heated up and melted? All right, look at all that. Anyway, we're back on the water now.